Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. In this video, we're going to learn a new chapter which is chapter 16, carbonyl. Okay, so here is the learning outcome for 16.1, which will give the general formula of aldehyde and ketone. Okay, so again, carbonyl is actually your functional group where there's the presence of C double bond O in your compound. Okay, but your functional group ni can be divided into two. Carbonyl ni it could be divided into two. There's one aldehyde and another one is ketone. Okay, so what's the difference between aldehyde dengan ketone? Okay, kalau aldehyde, your carbonyl carbon ni, okay, kalau miss kata carbonyl carbon is that, kalau carbonyl maknanya your C double bond O ni lah. So your carbonyl carbon here, for the case of aldehyde, the bodyguard dia must be one of it, mesti ada hydrogen. Okay, another one ni tak kisahlah, hydrogen ke another carbon pun it's fine. Kalau ketone pula, for your carbonyl carbon, it must the bodyguard dia must be carbon lah. So CH3 ke ataupun here your methyl, here your ethyl ke tak kisah, but it must be bonded to another carbon. Aldehyde, one of it must be bonded to hydrogen. So that's the difference of aldehyde and ketone. But then the functional group is the same. Functional group dia adalah carbonyl. Okay, so that's the introduction. Next, what we're going to learn is actually the naming of your carbonyl compound. Okay, so first what we're going to look at is for the case of aldehyde. Okay, so kalau aldehyde ni, what we're going to change the name. So contohnya kalau alkane kan, so belakang tu kita akan ubah dia jadi AL. So contohnya methane jadi metanal, ethane etanal, propane propanal. Okay, so let's look question A here. We only have one carbon, so dia jadi methane lah. But then because this is an aldehyde, dia akan jadi metanal. Okay, so this is your IUPAC nomenclature, but then the common name dia adalah formaldehyde. So example B, we have this is aldehyde. Okay, and then how many carbon there is? We have 2. So from instead of ethane, dia akan jadi ethanal. And the other name ataupun the common name for it is acetaldehyde. Okay, so example C. So here we have 3 carbon. So instead of propane, dia jadi propanal. Yang ni dia tak ada common name. D pula, so our aldehyde is directly bonded to our benzene. Okay, so nama dia is actually phenyl metanal. Okay, metanal is the parent name. Okay, lepas tu remember that benzene, the name of the functional group dia benzene, tapi bila dia jadi substituent, nama jadi phenyl. So the name is phenyl metanal. But then again, the common name for phenyl metanal is actually benzaldehyde. Now let's look for case example E. Okay, so example E ni, okay, so for this is actually skeletal structure. So how to know whether it's aldehyde ataupun ketone based on the skeletal structure? Okay, kalau aldehyde ni memang C double bond O dia dekat hujung sekali sebab nanti bonded to hydrogen. So for example here, carbon dekat sini, we know the 1, 2, 3. Lepas tu carbon ni maksud dia is not enough for bond, so maknanya sini ada hydrogen. Okay, yang ni pun sama juga, carbon kat sini yang carbon yang double bond O ni, dia ada 1, 2, 3. So maknanya ada lagi satu bond is your hydrogen. So bodyguard of your carbonyl ni satu hydrogen, another one is all the structure. So just to make sure, kalau dia skeletal, nak tahu dia aldehyde ataupun ketone, tengoklah dia punya satu adalah must be double bond O tu must be at the end of the structure, ataupun if you be unsure, count the number of bond. Okay, so now count how many carbon we have. 4. Again, CHO is given the lowest number in the chain. So if I have 2 choices here, the pink and the purple one, okay, I'm gonna take the purple one sebab number dia pada the smallest number. So what will be the name? Okay, parent dia jadi butanal. Okay, lepas tu we have substituent pada number 2, which is our methyl. So the name will be 2-methyl butanal. Example F and G, I believe you could do it yourself. So let's look at example H. Okay, so kita tengok dekat sini. So we have here our double bond O. Tapi kita tengok double bond O kita ni is not directly bonded to benzene. So maknanya bonded kepada 1, 2 ni, pada yang carbon yang attached pada benzene. Okay, so contohnya dekat sini kalau si double bond O ni, if I use this one as a skeletal, is this structure. the C double bond O tu is directly bonded to benzene. But this time around, the C double bond O bukan directly bonded to benzene. So yang carbon kat sini kita akan take apa tu? I will take as my parent. So dia akan jadi etanon. But then how about the numbering? Okay, so there are two choices here. We want it to be the lowest number, so I'm going to take the purple one. So nama dia akan jadi etanon. But then pada carbon number 2 we have our phenyl substituent. So nama dia akan jadi 2-phenyl ethanol. Okay, example I, J and K. I believe you could do it yourself. Now let's look for the case of ketone. Okay, so again, what's the difference between aldehyde dengan ketone? Kalau ketone ni mestilah dia jadi C double bond O. Mesti bodyguard of our C double bond O tu mestilah ada carbon dengan another carbon. So sebenarnya kalau ketone ni dia memang start kena ada bila ada 3 carbon. Sebab kalau contohnya C double bond O, kalau ada 2 carbon je, so kat sini sebenarnya masih hydrogen kan. So this is not aldehyde. This is not ketone, this is aldehyde. So kalau ketone ni it started with we have 3 carbon. So this is actually the skeletal structure. Okay, tapi macam mana pula nak tulis ni? Okay, we're gonna replace this, the corresponding E of your alkane with O and E. So contohnya we have propane kan, dia akan jadi propanon. Butane, butanon. Macam itulah. Okay, so kita tengok example A. So here is our propanon. Okay, so macam itulah. Contohnya propane dengan propanon. Yang E tu kita akan tukarkan, dia jadi O and E at the end there. So if you're unsure, tulis je nama alkane dulu. So here we have 4. So dia akan jadi butane tapi jadi butanon. Okay, but then the carbonyl is given the lowest number in the chain. So when we count, there are two ways of counting it. So kita akan ambil bila dia jadi the smallest substituent. So I'm gonna choose the pink one. Jadi 2 butanon. Okay, so example C, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 carbon from hexane, dia jadi hexanon. Okay, but then the C double bond O, we have to give the number lah. So there are two ways of counting. So kita akan ambil the smallest one, which is the pink color. So we're going to take this sebagai 3 hexanon. Example D, I believe you could do it yourself. Okay, so for question E. So sekarang ni kita tengok our double bond O is actually directly bonded to our cyclic structure. So nama dia akan jadi, from the original cyclohexane, dia akan jadi cyclohexanon. Okay, make sure that C double bond O tu directly bonded to our cyclic structure. Here I just want to draw. So contohnya I have my cyclopentane, double bond O directly attached to it. So nama dia akan jadi cyclopentanon. So kita tengok question F ni. Okay, so question F ni, okay, kalau kata kalau C double bond O tu directly bonded to cyclic, dia jadilah cyclopentanon. But as we can see here, our double bond O tu dia bukannya directly bonded to any of the cyclic structure ni. Dia tidak. This pada 1, 2 here kan. Okay, so macam mana nak bagi how to name it? Kita kenalah bukan cyclopentanon, kita kena kira how many carbon yang straight chain dekat sini. Remember, this is a carbon. So tapi yang carbon straight chain tu ada 1, 2. Okay, so it's either 1, 2 ataupun if I use this way around, dia akan jadi 1, 2. Okay, so how to name it? So dia ada 2, so nama dia akan jadi etanon. Number what we're going to choose. Okay, 1 ke 2 kita akan ambil. Kita akan ambil the red one lah, sebab kita nak smallest possible number kan. So this is actually carbon number 1. So kalau carbon number 1 tak nak tulis pun tak apa. Okay, but then pada carbon number 1 we have a substituent. So this is a cyclic. Kalau nama alkane dia adalah cyclopentane, tapi kalau dia jadi substituent, nama dia akan jadi cyclopental. So the name will be cyclopental etanon. Okay, so yang ini macam pelik sikit kenapa nama dia macam ni saja. So ikutlah kalau kamu nak buat cyclic 1 etanon pun tak ada masalah. Okay, again make sure when you have our double bond O tu, tengok dia directly bonded. Kalau bonded to cyclic structure macam cyclopentanon dengan hexanon tu, so that will be the name lah. But for this one, double bond O tu dia bukan directly bonded to your cyclic structure, so that is not the parent name. Parent name dia mestilah yang ada carbonyl. So for question G and H, I believe you could try it yourself.